Hey everybody, it's Maria from What's the Story with Maria. How's it going? Nice to have you. We appreciate that you're here. We're coming to you live from NYC. Tonight is September 26th, 2023. Hit that promo, Leo.
Yeah, a big fish, small bottom, the day's free and the night's long. I create my own reality. Who I am is fine with me. I'm as famous as I wanna be. Who I am is fine with me. It's who I am. It's who I am. Oh, who I am. It's fine with me. It's who I am. It's who I am.
Thanks, Leo. How's it going, everybody? So I want to shout out to Leo, our buddy. Leo does all our promos, maintains the website, runs this show. I was just singing Leo's praises to our friend Michael, who's going to join us tonight. Tonight's going to be such a wonderful show. My heart is warm from tonight's show already. So we have a lot coming up. Let's say hello to our regulars that pop in every week. First in, what else is new? Our A-plus student, Danielle from D's Enlightened Edits. Hi, D. How's it going? She says, happy Tuesday, happy autumn. Yes, and I love autumn. I'm so happy walking around the streets, even in the rain. This is my weather. I am in my glory. That's it. It's perfect. So D is a spiritual healer. She's a medium. She's a psychic. I know that sounds like what? It's mind-blowing how smart she is and how good she is and how tuned in she is. And I can't say enough. So go to her website, DAMCL Designs, damseldesigns.com. You're going to find a million things that can do nothing but help in your life to center you and help you find joy and answers. So I'm a big fan of Dee and her work. Belle Parker has joined us. She says, hey girl, I miss you. Belle, no coincidence that you are here tonight because, we were talking this week, we were email. Belle is an amazing singer. Amazing singer. But you know where I met her? On the softball field at the Broadway Show League many, many, many moons ago. And then I played for the Women's Show Business League on Wednesdays. I pitched for them. And I recruited Belle for my team. She was my shortstop for 100 years. And nothing but good memories. And then she came to the Duplex one night for open mic and sang. And I was like, what the? That's my shortstop? She's an ingenue? Who knew? So anyway, Belle, I'm so glad you're here. I love you and I miss you, honey. And I know we talked about you coming to visit and meeting your little baby, who's not such a baby anymore, right? She's maybe like 4. So I'm looking forward to that. You're gonna love tonight's show because it's Broadway related. Yes, please. I can't wait to meet your little girl. So shout out. I don't see oh my God, Rena. I just was gonna say, I don't see my cousin Rena Criniali-Berge because she had knee replacement surgery and I'm sure she's recuperating, and you have appeared. You are a superhero. She just had her surgery yesterday. Unbelievable. So, Rena, I'm so proud of you. This is Rena's second knee replacement surgery in a few months, and you are the bionic woman, as she said herself. So glad you're here, honey. All right, so you can watch us on YouTube. Yes, Rena is a super, and she's a super angel, yeah. You can watch us on YouTube. You can watch us here on Facebook. You can share our show. If you enjoy our show and you want to share it to your page right now as it's happening or after the show, please feel free. We have nothing against that. We're glad. And remember that you can catch us in podcasts after this. It goes to podcast in Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Usually around 12 hours afterwards. Jim Bell takes care of that. Big shout out to Jim Bell. He is amazing. He's in New Hampshire, and he does all that for us. So we love Jim Bell. All right, what's happening there? Oh, no, Leo. Where did you get that picture, Leo, you sneaky snake? I don't know where
Spies. I have spies. I've got spies everywhere.
you really do. You are the FBI of entertainment.
I'm the FBI of Maria Gentili. That's why.
Really are. Last night, this is at the Stonewall Inn. I had such a busy day yesterday. It was our road recovery show at the LGBT Center with our kids, our LGBT kids. We had our wonderful show, and then we ran over to Stonewall right afterwards. And Anthony Fett, who was just one of the most incredible entertainers and producers. Now he's producing all the shows. Put together this show called Homecoming. So we all had to do a number. I was bartending, but then I got up. We all had to do a number having to do with Homecoming, and I did our song, Leo. I did Home.
I got a text a few minutes before we went on, like, what key is it in?
Oh, from Bill Goffey. Was
that a good Bill voice? What key is it in?
Yeah, it was very good. Because we usually do that song together, me and Leo.
Yep.
So it's a little bit of our duet. Okay, Andy Prasky has joined us. Andy Prasky. May I just tell you how excited I am that Andy Prasky is going to join us on October 13th? And I'm going to try to see if I can also get my friend Cesar Ricci, because we're focusing on costumes, Halloween costumes. When I had dinner with Sean and Andy a few weeks ago, oh my God, they showed me some costumes over the years, and I was like, you guys have to come on the show and be the costume people. Like, I want to get everybody like excited about Halloween. And oh my God, Andy commits.
He does.
So he really does.
He does.
So he's gonna join us on October 13th. Andy Prasky and Sean, hopefully his sweetheart Sean, who's so friggin' nice. Oh my God.
They're adorable together. They were in San Francisco. They were in California. I felt the vibes.
You
and
did?
then I saw the posting that they were in my old hometown watching them 49ers.
Oh, that's right, because Sean loves the 49ers.
Oh, that's really a good question.
What?
Good question, D.
Halloween is thank you. You know, D, if you were in my class, you'd be my favorite student. And, you know, I will tell you, because I'm a teacher, of course you have favorite students. You don't tell them that, but you always have a favorite student. Leo, you know, you work with kids. Mm-hmm. So, D, thank you, because you beat me to it. Halloween is a Tuesday, and are you doing a show? Here's what I think. Leo, I haven't told you yet, but I think we should skip that night, and I'll tell you why. These are my two reasons, but we may not. I think because most people give out candy, and that is the time, whether it's California, 6 o'clock, or East Coast, 9 o'clock. I know my hometown, it's huge, trick-or-treating. I don't want anybody to feel like they have to choose between trick-or-treating and our show. So let's think, and I may, you know, usually I assistant manage at Stonewall on the big nights, on Gay Pride. That's
right.
So I'm pretty sure Kurt's going to say, hey, are you available? And if he does, I feel like I want to be available to him, because he's such a great guy and a great boss, and he's the owner of Stonewall and just my friend for 30 years. So, yes. Oh, October 17th. Thank you, Andy. My mistake. I said the 13th. You're right. The 17th. So as of right now, D, to answer your question, as our top student, although Rena, I'm going to say, D, you might have to, maybe you and Rena are tied. Right?
We have two weather girls.
Yes.
Spiritual weather, atmospheric,
yeah,
and then atmospheric.
Right. So I don't know, D. I mean, but D does ask the good questions. Okay, so I'm going to say, as of right now, I think we'll take Halloween off because of those reasons that I said.
Well, if you're working, you're good. I don't necessarily partake in Halloween, so
yeah, I don't know.
That's my grandmother's birth. Well, it used to be my grandmother's birthday. She forgot she was actually born on November 1st. She also forgot how old she was at some point. But October 31st, since my grandma passed, has just not been the same for me.
Oh, I know.
So I usually take that to just be quiet and be silent and think of her that time and eat the candy. And eat the candy I was supposed to give out.
Oh, I know. Well, okay. So so that's what I'm thinking. Carol Sue Gershman. Hi, Carol. Okay, great. Do you come to my Halloween show at DTM? Details on my page. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Carol. Thanks for you're gonna have a Halloween show. So there you go. Carol Sue Gershman is gonna have a Halloween show at Don't Tell Mamas on Halloween night. Check it out on her website. Thanks for that info. We appreciate it. And the Stonewall Inn will be open as they have the parade in New York. That the gigantic Halloween parade that's magnificent.
San Francisco, West Hollywood, New York. I've been to all three of them on a Halloween.
Yeah, they're insanity.
It's crazy.
It's insanity. It's like nothing you've ever witnessed. If you don't live in these places, you can't imagine. It's millions of people.
Shout out to Santa Barbara too, at the College of Santa Barbara.
Oh yeah,
they have a really busy, funky Halloween night.
Oh wow!
As well.
Okay, we're going to bring on our guest in a minute. But I do want to mention postcards to swing states. It's getting close because I have to mail these out. These are I got people. I have Virginia and Kentucky this year. And there's Leo just put it, turnoutpack.org/postcards. They will send you postcards. 100 is the minimum that you can order, and then you have to pay for the stamps. But I will say, one of my friends, and I'm going to shout him out because he's a lovely human, Greg Shalodhauer, who's very politically active, sweet, and he said, "Oh my God, I can't believe you're doing that." And then he Venmoed me $50 for stamps. I know. And how sweet is that? So he's the sweetest of the sweet. So that's what I'm doing. I'm sending postcards to Virginia and Kentucky, and just to remind people to vote. That's all. Make sure.
I don't want to get political, but we're almost at a government standstill again because of certain people that are out there. So we need to vote, people.
And listen, you know what? I mean this wholeheartedly. Most of us are in the middle. I do believe there are good people on both sides. I do believe that because I believe in the good in people, and I believe most of us are in the middle. So let's just always be politically active in your local elections, okay? Thank you, Belle. So cute. Yes, Queen. I love her. Go vote. Go vote. That's all. Wisconsin. She's in Wisconsin. Wisconsin is a big, important state. Oh, everywhere is important. Mm-hmm. Just do your part. Make sure you're registered. Go and vote, and that's it. And then let it go. All right.
We have one more very important thing because it's almost deadline time.
Oh my God. David and Carrie Lynn are Mr. and Mrs. September in our Nothing But the Apron calendar. And that's right. And we filled it. We're full.
Woohoo!
Yes.
I need the pictures.
Now I just need the pictures. Well, Lauren Buffson sent me hers. I'm going to send them to you. Zach and Braley are going to give me their pictures this tomorrow.
Can you make sure we send it on a secure wire? Because I'm sure that they're hot. They're just going to burn them up.
I know. Well, see, here's the thing. Poor Leo has to go comb through them, all of these semi-nudes by himself.
But, here's an example.
I know. And David right now is on tour with Funny Girl, and we shout out to him. They just had their anniversry, though.
I saw the pictures.
Oh, my God. They're the sweetest thing. I teared up. David and Carrie Lynn Foley, showbiz couple, they celebrated 17 years married yesterday.
And they are a provider to this earth of great, wonderful, talented, smart little children, aren't they?
Oh my God, Dave Foley Jr. The third, who was an amazing singer, and his mother's a dancer, so he's like an acrobat. This little boy.
I'm gonna look that good.
Well, you can take it that way. I don't know.
Take it that way.
I mean, I eat my sauce and I don't look like that. But these two,
heard a rumor.
They're the fit Foleys. They're the only people I know that during COVID did not gain weight. They lost weight because they worked out every day and posted about it. The rest of us were fat in COVID. I'm just going to say it. Everyone
I was trying eating your sauce going like that, but this exercise wasn't working.
I know it does. It's just good for the arm. All right, enough jibber jabber from me and Leo.
Let's get to serious.
Tonight is so special, and I'll tell you why. I was in Tony and Tina's wedding for 6 years, almost 7 years, in the early 90s. It was a great joy of my life. One of the other great joys of my life, that when I was in that show, I had the great privilege of doing, I would do a lot of fundraising for Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS, and I loved it. I got involved in it was me, Chuck Santoro, sometimes a woman named Liz Zazzy, who now is a bigwig at SAG-AFTRA. But the three of us would write skits. and Billy Hipkins, who now is he's a wardrobe giant. He's on every show. But we would write the skit. So the Easter Bonnet, Gypsy of the Year, and we would do this every year. But my favorite event was the Broadway flea market, a Broadway show flea market, because I used to run the table. And sometimes, most times, Sylvia Santoro, who's Chuck Santoro's mom, would join me. And people would come in and out, but it was me. I would collect all these things to give away. And then we had like a spin, like a wheel spinner thing. And it was so much fun. And we raised so much money for one of my favorite charities of all time, Broadway Cares, Equity Fights AIDS. And you will see it, BC/EFA. You see it all the time. They do such beautiful work. We were so lucky tonight because we have the amazing and extra handsome and effervescent Michael Carmine to Bianco, and he is joined us tonight. He is a production.
Hello.
Oh my God, Michael! I'm so happy to see you. First of all, we know each other from the duplex, right?
We do. We know each other from the duplex, and as you were saying, all those names of people that you worked with at Tony and Tina's wedding, Chuck Santoro. This is the cutest story. When I was in 7th grade, we did a production of Anything Goes, and his cousin was the lead. And they asked him, and I think this is when he was in Tony and Tina's wedding, came in and did all the tap choreography. He taught me how to tap dance in 7th grade.
No.
And I still see him every now and then. I saw him in Fire Island. I was like, we looked at each other like, yeah.
Oh tappa.
I love that story.
He's so sweet. I was it made me so happy to see him again. And in my community.
Yes, I love that. And he's the sweetest. And he played Joey Vitale, Tina's gay brother in the show. And of course, he choreographed everything.
My God!
He is an amazing. And now he's a huge event planner.
Yeah.
Has his own company, and I'll think of the name of his company in a minute. But anyway, Proscenium. I think it's called Proscenium.
Okay.
Yeah. And huge events like for J-Lo and Harley Davidson, and so he's gone on to do that. But he and I and Liz Zazzy, who is a big wig at SAG now, we used to write. We'd get together, we'd go over Chinese food and write the Gypsy of the Year skits and the Easter Bonnet skits, and then Billy Hipkins,
the legend, Billy Hipkins. I've worked with him so many times on sketches. I love that man.
Oh my God, is he incredible?
He is, and I say lunatic in the most loving way.
Oh, absolutely.
The things that come out of his head when he comes into our office and he's like, "Oh, we've got a great opening," but they're also when he just did a beautiful piece for the Easter Bonnet, this just past Easter Bonnet. That was just so, it brought all the laughter, the tears, all the feelings of just this respect that he has for the theater and for this organization. It's just, I love that man.
Absolutely. Did you ever meet his mother, Sylvia?
No.
Oh my God. She could be.
Next time I see him, I'm like, hey, Sylvia, tell me stories.
Tell me. Oh, you will love. She is a no nonsense. She should have been a performer. And you know what? She still has time. But she's almost a little B. Arthur. A little Olympia Dukakis thing going on.
That's my kind of woman.
I know, me too. My favorite kind of person. And she would do the table with me. We do at the flea market. We ran the table every year. How great is that?
I love that so much. It's just that the flea market is such a, as I said, it's like your Broadway happy place. It's it's the Broadway block party, because it's such a wonderful place for fans of theater to get to connect with all the people that work in the industry, not just performers, everybody that works in this industry. It's a chance to find your favorite goodies, because there's nothing I love more than picking through a table, because you never know what you're going to find.
I know.
It's crazy the things you can find. Like this. This is my prized possession. This is a fully cast, signed, original cast from The Secret Garden. It's got Mandy Patinkin, Rebecca Luker, I got it at the silent auction because I was like, I have to have it.
Oh my God! So
the great thing
Michael,
about it is the money all goes to good places. That's why you're like, I don't care. I will give me that, because the money just goes to. It just does so many wonderful things.
So you and I, of course, know. I mean, I know because I worked it, and I also am a huge Broadway fan. So I've been to it a million times. But you tell everybody what you do and why you know so much about all this. And then tell everybody that, like, let's assume people don't know. They've never heard of what this is. So, okay.
So, a little historical background. The Broadway flea market started, it was in 1987. The company of a chorus line was doing a fundraiser for Equity. At the time, Equity Fights AIDS. We were two different organizations at the time. And basically, they just went into Schubert Alley, set up a table, and sold merch, sold hats, mugs, T-shirts, signed playbills, and the fans went nuts. And it was truly something so unique that company did, that a company of a chorus line did, that the following year in '88 they decided, okay, let's like some more shows to do this, sell off some merch. You know, everybody went. You go through your dressing rooms, you go through what's extra, what's lying around the theater, especially these shows that have been around for a very long time. There's lots of things you can find in the theater.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until about 88, 89 that they started introducing the grand auction piece into it. It just became this, it kept getting bigger and bigger. So at this point where we are now, I'm a production assistant at Broadway Cares. So in preparation for the flea market, all different departments in the office are focusing on something specific. There's our development team is focused on the live auction of gathering audience experiences, whether it's something like opening night tickets to a show with a backstage tour, something like that. There's lunch with this is my favorite one of the live auction, lunch with Joel Grey.
Oh wow! Oh my God!
That's one of the.
Wait, I have to tell you just a quick story. First of all, I love him so much. His autobiography is one of my favorite I've ever read.
Beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's called Master of Ceremonies. So if anybody out there wants to read it or listen to it, it's a beautiful book. And it's really like a theater history. It's a history of theater in so many ways. But, so I had read that book, and I had it in my mind, like, I love Joel Grey, I love Joel Grey. And I was on a bus, a crosstown bus, going across 72nd Street. And then it goes over and turns into right in front of Lincoln Center.
Right.
And I have to get out. And so I hit the button, and this little tiny man gets out first. I'm not paying any attention. And he turns around like this, like a dancer. He's down on the bottom of the step of the bus, and he turns around like this and gives me his hand. And I thought, what a nice, oh my God, that's Joel Grey. It was so, I was frozen. I almost cried. I was like, oh. And all I said was thank you, because he was trying to help me. I had a lot of bags, as I always do. And he just turned around like a leading man, gave me, and I thought, oh my God, Joel Grey just helped me off the bus.
Because he's so New York too. He's just like,
totally.
I'm a working actor. I am here. I am Broadway. I am New York. So I'm just being a human being.
So that's one of the things at the auction.
Yeah, that's one of the live auction experiences. And there's things from, we have handwritten musical phrases from Stephen Sondheim that he wrote for us. It's crazy.
What?
Yeah, so over the years, like, everything just kept getting bigger and bigger. I mean, everyone wanted to participate and give something. There's so many things there's signed playbills by Angela Lansbury that were donated to us. There's so many things, and part of the auction as well, it's also curating all the items for tables.
Yeah.
There's the company AppAm. AppAm is one of the top fundraising tables at the moment. But it's run by Brig Burney, who's a major company manager right now. He's a beautiful, beautiful human being. He just goes to all the theaters and just gathers all this stuff.
Yeah.
And just the things you will find at these tables is it's really wild, because a lot of stuff, the phone calls that we get, people will call and be like, oh, I hear the flea market's coming up. Can I donate? So I have these things.
I love that. The people know about it every year.
They know about it. They know it's coming. It's a great opportunity for people to say, hey, I'm downsizing my home.
Right.
I have all these playbills, or I have this signed thing. It's wild, the things that end up in our office. We got a donation from a woman who was a stage manager back in the day. She brought in a original cast signed poster from Fences, signed by August Wilson.
Wow.
Wild things like that just come in, and even little things, even like props, playbills, all that stuff is so meaningful to people, and it's just so nice that it gets a second home. Like, no one feels like they're throwing anything away. It's just, you bring it somewhere, and some love, whether it's like a teenager like I did when I was in the 90s going there, or a college student looking for scripts or cast reporting.
Yes.
It all just gets repurposed and it finds a home somewhere. It really is lovely.
Yeah, and you know what? First of all, it's a fall day. It's a beautiful day. There's something magical about that event and that day. You literally,
New York.
Yeah, it really is. And you walk around like Schubert Alley, right, Michael? It's still in the same place.
It spreads down. We take over 44th and 45th between 7th and, or is it Broadway and 8th? 8th and Broadway, and then right through Schubert Alley, yeah.
Right, and so you just walk around, give yourself plenty of time, because you're going to need it. There's so much to see, and you're going to run into amazing people. And then, like Michael was telling us, which I love, and I remember, what was that? I don't know what that was, but so you will run into people that are actually in the show. Like, they will be working the tables, like dancers, stagehands, front of the office people, stars. Like, I think one year, Brian Stokes Mitchell was working, like, he's one of my favorite Broadway actors.
And
he was just working it. I was like,
it's crazy.
Yeah. So, and there's so much great merchandise. I used to buy jackets, T-shirts. There's CDs. There's signed things. There's just. Go ahead, Leo. What were we gonna say?
I got a little clip. I'll play it in the background so you can see all the crowds that you're talking about. If you don't mind, Maria.
Yeah. No. I don't mind at all.
Okay.
Go ahead, Leo.
I'm gonna do it while you're talking.
No, play it anyway.
A cool thing that came in this year is it's really actually very beautiful and special. Is there's a whole. So the company of La Cage aux Folles, the original La Cage aux Folles, is celebrating a big anniversary this year, and they're doing it at the flea market. And there's an actual La Cage table where a lot of the performers have donated opening night gifts from the original production, scripts, their show jackets, all little things from the show, and some of the items are even in the grand auction. There's the actual Tony Award for Best Musical is up for auction this year.
Oh. Come on!
And there's a set piece. There's a little camel table. It's really cool. And we actually even have there's a Tony Award from Jules Fisher. I think that showed up in the grand auction as well. But it's fun for me because all this stuff comes in, and I'm like, ooh, a Tony, that's nice.
Yes, absolutely. And the thing is, I'm looking at my phone because I have the show running on 2 different platforms, so I'm trying to see if we miss anybody that's popped in. And I will acknowledge people in a minute, so don't go far, folks. But I got to tell you, like, I love that little promo because the joy in people's faces, do you see it? That is not fabricated. A lot of these are young kids that come in from all over the country that have hopes and dreams of working on Broadway in some capacity, or they're just showbiz kids from their little hometowns.
Yeah. And
they come here with their friends, and they are so bursting with enthusiasm for, like, what we all love here. I mean, Michael and
Sure. We see it every day, yeah.
And you see yourself in their eyes, and you say to yourself, I mean, this is the experience I have. Wow, I did this. I was that kid, and I did move here, and I have a life in New York. And so for me, it's this journey of seeing people, and then these Broadway stars that are they're so giving with their time and their energy, and they're so happy to be, donating their time, and it's just fun. They're fun.
100%. And I'm so happy you said that, because it really, Broadway cares. Really, I mean, yes, we have a full staff and we're working, we work hard, everybody works hard, but truly, we none of this would exist without the Broadway community.
I know.
The amount of people, front of house to backstage to on stage, that truly donate their time and talent, like really go for it. I mean, another layer of fundraising that we do is obviously the Red Bucket season that we do twice a year. It's 6 weeks, and all the shows participate. And they sell the signed posters, the signed playbills. When I was going through the numbers of how much they signed, they're like signing like thousands of one show could sign 1,000 posters and playbills to sell.
I know.
And they just do it because they get so excited about how the audience receives it. It really is special to see that kind of community. I don't know any other industry other than just theater itself. Theater in New York on national tours, Broadway. There's just something about that what we do. Broadway Equity Fights AIDS and the Entertainment Community Fund. Yeah, just those kinds of things. The way we take care of others, but we also take care of our own within the community.
Yes, absolutely.
That everybody gets what they need, and the biggest thing, health insurance. Quality of life and food, and it's very important. It's things that we don't think about every day. But,
and it does. It is directly affects people that we know. Like it's sometimes, and I'm not knocking any kind of fundraiser. I think that if you're someone that has a generous heart, continue to be that person. But what I love about this organization is I have seen it directly help people that I know and love.
Yeah.
So, in the early 90s, the sadness of the AIDS epidemic, I remember so many of our friends just getting sick. Like, it was like so scary. But what I do also remember, and my friend John DiCarlo, God rest his soul, was an amazing actor, singer, dancer, and he was sick. And I remember that I was in the hospital with him, and he said, "Oh, I'm so relieved. They paid my light bill. I'm so relieved they paid." And I remember thinking, "Who paid your?" He's like, and I think you're right. It was Equity Fights AIDS at the time. It wasn't Broadway Cares yet, but so that is someone that I loved and knew. I didn't know nothing about this organization. And another friend of mine, Jackie Carroll, who is also, she's passed away a few years back, but she said, because she was in Old Calcutta many years ago, can you imagine?
God, that's incredible.
I know. And when she passed away, I actually went on eBay to see if I could find a playbill, and I did.
Yeah.
I bought a playbill, yeah. But she said that there was a time in her life where she was struggling and literally needed, like, winter boots. And she called... I think it was the Actors Fund, and she said, "Listen, I know this sounds crazy, but and they gave her money for boots." It's real stories. It's real people that you love and you care about. People that even like during the pandemic, they helped so many people.
Yeah,
because
it was, especially with all the trying for us, even trying to stay functioning and keep doing on events. We found any which way we could, but it was really like, all these shows were closed for so long, and it's like there's no money coming in, and there's no health insurance, there's no nothing.
Right.
And it was a wild time, and I think it was that kind of thing of, please, I hope this doesn't offend, but it's that kind of thing of like, we went through 2 plagues now.
Yeah, no, you're right.
We went through the first one, and the Broadway community showed up. The theater community showed up. The arts community showed up.
Yes.
The COVID happened. The arts community showed up, because I feel like it's all we have. All we have is each other, because we understand. There's it's a certain kind of, I don't know if it's the work ethic, it's the dedication, it's the passion we have for it, and it's that thing of I can't thrive without the rest of my community around me. Right. We all have to just, whatever department you're in that makes this industry turn and go. And you know what?
If you look at a show, even on a high school level, because I also work with kids, it is the best place to learn teamwork. And same thing with sports, because I'm not that one is better than the other, but anything like
we didn't play sports, so that's why we're going to theater.
Well, speak for yourself.
I was forced into football, so I'm not going to pretend like it wasn't there.
Statistics.
Yeah.
just statistics.
But you're right. So it's that kind of right. It's either one. You either choose one or the other.
Sure.
But the kids that I teach, I love working with them over the years. Different places I've worked because you watch them come together and learn everything about working as and what it takes to put on a production and what that truly means. So I think we carry that on into our lives. Those of us that are theater people, we carry that into our lives. And so, of course, we would naturally be the ones to say, look, we got to do something. Let's do this. Let's come together, and stagehand. So many of my friends, because I also, speaking of sports, I played on in the Broadway show softball league for many years.
That's incredible.
Oh, yeah, I was a pitcher. I was a very good pitcher, Michael. If I say so myself, I actually was MVP of the what do you call it, the All-Star game a few times.
Oh, you go, girl.
So, yeah, I was a pretty good pitcher in the one that we had our women's league and all that. But I loved that I was on teams with actors, electricians, stagehands, front of the office people, and we were all on a team. And it was like, wow, you know what? No, we understand this.
Yes.
We understand because we've done this before. We've done the show thing. So that's why Julie Cesari, who was my director, Tony and Tina's wedding, and actually hired me and got me my equity card. Julie, I will never forget you for that. Julie Cesari is the reason I have my equity card. Actors Fund would give us free walking shoes every year for pounding the pavement. Okay, there you go. And
it's what I love is out of all the sadness we went through in the 80s, 90s, into the sadness we all went through in the past 3 years, that Broadway was able to come back. We're able to do the things we love. We're able to do these events again. People are able to travel again and come out here. And it really is. I mean, you were saying people come from all of the country. They truly do. There's people calling way in advance, asking when's the flea market happening because I need to book my travel plans. I'm like,
absolutely. I know people that do it every year. They come in from all over the country, and some of them are teachers. Some of them are just avid Broadway fans. Some of them are musical directors. Some of them are grandmas that they just want to do something fun with their grandchildren.
Yeah, it's really lovely. It's lovely.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I love about it is like you said, there's just this energy. It's an autumn day, and there's just a calm because I feel like there's when theater fans we get excited, but the thing that shocks me so much is that how we're all just able to mill about the streets and nobody really goes too nuts. It's just they'll run into there was a moment I saw these kids ran into Alex Brightman, beautiful actor who was he was Beetlejuice, and at the time he was doing Beetlejuice, and they were just like, oh, we love it. Like, how often do you get to run into someone you idolize, in Secret Alley, in the Broadway block party, and have this moment with him where he's truly just giving you his time, and because I think it's different from when you're stage dooring and all that stuff. It's just there's this whole it's crazy out there, and the actors are tired. They want to go home. The energy's different. At the flea market, they show because they want to be there. They want to know what's up. And sometimes they buy things themselves. So it's
that's a great point. The stage door thing. They've just done a show, but and there's a little bit of a crowd thing happening, right? Where they thank God
we just have the whole audience screaming at us, and then it's more, and there's cameras, and it's this. It's just so interesting that there's this calm where they could literally just walk through the flea market. Very famous people could just walk through the flea market, and people are like, "Oh, hey, how are you? It's nice to see you. I love your work and this." And they're like, "Thank you." Tyne Daly had a table.
I know. I remember when I was working talking to Victor Garber, who's one of my favorite.
Oh, love him. So beautiful.
Oh my God, isn't he wonderful? David Hyde Pierce. just like
just hanging out.
Hal Linden. Yes, they're hanging out. McDowell, Roddy McDowell. Like, it's just any of these things. You get to meet the most amazing people. Now, I am going to take a moment because I want to acknowledge some of the people that have joined us as we do here on the show. So Belle Parker, Dee from Dee's Enlightened Edits, Lynn Portis, who's my best friend and musical director, and she was the musical director at Tony and Tina's wedding. Yeah. So she knows all about this. She says she's laughing about the Chuck Santoro choreographer. Yeah, she knows Chuck very well. Julie Cesaria, of course. And then we have Carol Sue Gershman, Leah Doik has joined us. Lori Towers has joined us. Eudenia Mesa has joined us. Brian Johnson is my friend from high school, and he knows all about shows because he used to be involved in our shows at school. Yeah. And he's a DJ now. He works for the police department, and then he's also a DJ. So, but these are great things. This is a great weekend. Now, everybody, also, if you're not able to get to the city this weekend, that's okay, because they do it every year.
Yes.
And that's something to put in your calendar. Either it's the last Sunday in September or the first Sunday in October, right?
Let me think. It's usually, I think it's always like the third Sunday. We wanted to respect the Jewish holidays, so we moved. So we were respectful. Also, for those who can't make it, we have a wonderful thing. We actually have an eBay channel.
Oh, cool!
There's an eBay channel, and channel is that before I'm so old. They have an eBay channel.
I love it.
They have an eBay page, so they have
You're talking to the right demographic when you say that.
It's up all year because the person who curates it, Madeline Reed, who's just love her. She is so good about putting things up all year, things that we get that come in and just puts it up there. But during flea market, she created a thing during the pandemic when we couldn't be in Schubert Alley called Flea Bay.
Oh my God, this is great!
It's incredible. She took basically what she did was she puts higher priced items like very specific theater posters, costume pieces, very important playbills, opening night playbills, things like that are signed. But then she does things called playbill bundles and poster bundles. Where you kind of buy these bundles of window cards or playbills. And sight unseen, you never know what you're going to get. And she puts little treats in there. Like if you bought a playbill bundle, you might have a completely signed Funny Girl playbill with Leah Michelle. But she creates these bundles, and people just buy them up. So it's another great way if you're not able to be there on Sunday. I know Flea Bay is open. It's at the Broadway Cares eBay page. Yes, it's right there.
Oh, that's great, Leo. Thank you, honey. And
there's all buy it now options, and everything 100%. All the proceeds go to Broadway Cares. We have a really good relationship with eBay, and in getting those donations. So if that's something you want to do, even if you're going Sunday, you should also participate in Flea Bay because
yes, I love.
I saw the little goodies she was putting in there, and they're quite fabulous.
Oh, that's so fun! I love this. I'm like all theater geeked out right now. I'm just loving this. Okay,
we gotta come visit our office again. We gotta have. I would love for everybody to just see you and just.
No, you don't understand how much I love everybody at your office because I used to go there constantly.
Yeah,
and so I always felt so welcome there. Because we'd come around and just bring things or whatever, donate things.
Of course.
Plus, I used to go to Equity was right there, right? So I used to go
right upstairs. Yeah.
Because I'm old school, I used to go and pay my dues in person. And I'm so old school. But I used to sit down and talk to the same woman. I can't remember her name now. And we would talk for hours. No, she probably retired now. She was an older woman. But she was great and funny, and we just would sit in kibitz. But I have to do, I don't know if it's changed. Yeah. I don't know if you know this, but we have a food section of our show we do every night. So I have to take a moment to do the food section of our show. It's called Go Ahead, Keep Eating. That's the name. You're right, exactly. So I'm going to call upon you. Leo, will you join us, please? And we all on the count of three have to say, Go ahead, keep eating. Ladies and gentlemen, the food section of our show is called 1, 2, 3.
Go ahead.
Keep
Keep eating.
Okay, what have I cooked tonight? I cook every night because I can't just expect creative people to join me if I do not stay creative every night. I was dying for some nice sea scallops. So I made, look at that, a plate of sea scallops. And let me tell you what I have, I have to write it down because I'll forget. So I made sea scallops marinated in garlic, lemon, thyme, rosemary, basil, chives, crushed red peppers, and sherry. And then
God.
I know I cooked some roasted red peppers and Vidalia onions over brown rice. That's what I'm having tonight.
Hold up. Close up.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah,
go
yeah.
back to that.
Close up.
Oh, my God.
Coming to your house.
Good. I know. Michael, anytime. All right, now, what did I make for a salad? This is called Sunny Crunch lettuce. It's kind of like, I can't describe it. It's kind of like escarole without the bitterness of it.
Oh, love that. Yep.
Yeah, it's really good. And I could only been able to find it so far at Whole Foods, but it's called Sunny Crunch. It's really, really good. And I put carrots, celery, blackberries, because it's blackberry season in the fall. And then I put this cheese that's so good. It's this delicious artisan basil cheese that they make at Trader Joe's, and it's so good. And I'm going to put a blackberry ginger balsamic vinegar and an extra virgin olive oil and a little bit of onion salt. There you go.
So what is the artisan cheese? What is it, like a goat cheese? Is it a milk cheese? Is it like
It's
a
kind of-
fontina?
I'm tasting it. It's kind of like a fontina. Very good, Leo. It's like a fontina, but it has herbs in it.
Okay.
And it's this particular company, I wish I remember the name of it, it's woman owned and operated. And leave it to Trader Joe's to be giving out samples. And of course, I always fall for everything they do. Michael Mackesy has joined us. Miss you all. We miss you. Michael's doing a show right now. Michael, please type in what show you're doing. He's away with Alice Nussbaum. They're doing a show together.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And
What a small, it really is.
You know,
Oh my God.
you want to hear some, this is really cute too, Michael. You'll love this. Michael Mackesy and I were roommates. We lived in a literally an L-shaped studio. You talk about the actor's life, right?
Yeah.
And it was on 45th and 8th at the Camelot, which
Wow.
everybody knows.
Yes.
And we're on the 12th floor. And this is the only reason we were able to live together. Not because I don't love Michael, but it was time. Michael would be on tour like 8 months out of the year. He was constantly touring. And then when Michael would come home for the weekend or whatever, I would go to my friend Debbie's house. She was my friend from 2018's wedding. And I'd give Michael his, like, don't worry, I'm out of here. It's all yours. And I'd get out of here. Yeah, and then he'd go away again, and then I'd come back. And it was like such a New York actor experience for a musical director. And so every time I see Michael, my first thought is that little apartment. There
was a desk or something you guys talked about.
Yes, there was a little desk that was, I still have it. Oh
yeah,
my God.
that's what.
He gave me, when he left, because he moved to Chicago, he gave me his desk. He said, why don't you take that, honey? I'm not going to, and at the time, his bed, but I've since gotten a new one. But it was like a bed frame that had like all this storage underneath. It was great. So for years, I had Michael Mackesy's bed and desk, and I still have the desk. Isn't that great? I know.
Mm-hmm.
So what did I make for dessert? I'm not a baker, so I don't make it. I usually buy it. But this is the cutest little thing. And this is like kind of for the flea market because they also have food there.
Yes, they do. Yes.
These are little ice cream cones.
Oh, those are cute.
With chocolate inside. And these are called Just the Best Part. Isn't that funny? Just
like the bottom, like of the ice cream
of the cone. Yeah.
A little chocolate at the bottom. Oh, that's
just the fun part. Isn't that cute? So that's that was my little theme for the Broadway show flea market. But
this is why you look so beautiful, Maria, because you eat so good.
Let me tell you something. I should be 4,000 pounds for what I do.
No, but a lot of those recipes are very clean. A lot of it, it's very lean.
Yeah, but what I was going to say is what I do tend to do is I'll let myself eat whatever I want, but then something hits me between the eyes, and I say, "Get it together, Maria."
It's usually a wedding or an event.
Yeah, and then I'll go on the keto, or I'll go to just protein, vegetables. And so I've been doing that off and on for a long time, but I have to. What else are you going to? Otherwise, I would just eat junk all day. I'm just like a junk food junkie.
Those blackberries look so big and luscious.
Yeah, well, you know what? I try to go with, like, I love fresh fruit and vegetables.
Seasonal.
I love, seasonal stuff. And I try to use it as much as I can in my cooking.
That's restaurant talk there, Maria Gentili. Michael,
I dug this out, and Julie will appreciate this, and Lynn. I haven't worn this shirt since 1998. But, of course, I'm such a pack rat, I saved it. I have my Tony and Tina's wedding T-shirt that I used to wear at the flea market when I ran the table.
Look at that.
I know. And it was one of those things that I remember after the show, I was like, I should probably save this.
Yeah.
This is a good thing to save.
Absolutely.
And I did.
Absolutely, because you're never going to, it's like theater. The show closes and all you have is that memory of this beautiful performance you saw. And, you know, if you come to the flea, you find it. And you find the thing. I've always had these moments where, when I was a kid, I'm having okay, I'll put it this way. My favorite musical is Starlight Express, because I saw it goes back because it was like my first Broadway show, all that.
Of course.
One flea market, I actually found a piece of the stage.
Wow.
It was this little square piece with the racing stripe. Crazy things you find there.
Oh my God, but I love that.
That's the fun thing. It's
there's props from certain shows. There's costumes. There's playbills. And Michael, I know they have the silent auction, but then when do they announce it? It's at a certain time, right?
The silent auction, it starts. So the silent auction that's one of the things that was introduced. They started with the live, and then they added the silent throughout the day, so it gave people an opportunity because the silent auction items are things that there's no experiences. It's more like items. It's more like a prop from this, or a playbill or a poster, a thing like that that's signed. And that goes from 10 to 4, and there are hour sections. So there's like a whole hour, or an hour, half hour points of to 10 to 12 items come out and are displayed. There's a whole performance, which is really fun. We have our friend Michael Goddard this year, who's going to be sort of hosting, and it's fun because they go through each auction piece, and if it's like a letter from somebody, like we had this letter that we got that was something about it's a letter that's signed by Fanny Bryce. It's wild. Someone donated this letter, and it's kind of funny because it's about how she was trying. I have to read it again. If you see it at the flea, they'll obviously read the letter, but it was something along the lines of she was having caviar shipped and something happened. It was just, it was a very interesting letter.
How crazy is that? Isn't that amazing? I know, but that's the kind of stuff that you'll find. It's just incredible. If you are a theater goer, theater lover, a teacher, a student, if you are just someone that wants, and this is another thing, I used to buy a lot of Christmas gifts at the Broadway show flea market, and now is the time to do it. Start shopping now.
Because they also have a lot of we set up our Broadway Cares table, so a lot of the things that are in our Broadway Cares store, like the ornaments that we do of all the Broadway legends, that stuff shows up there at a discount. The snow globes, all things that have come out of our store are also there at a discount. So that's another thing if you're really into all, if you wanted no, I don't think we actually have any more Barbara ornaments. I shouldn't say that. But Glenn Close ornament, we have the Harvey Fierstein ornament, things like that you can get at a discount.
That's amazing. Oh my God, my girlfriend.
All the money does beautiful things. So don't worry about spending too much money at the flea market because it's
and it all goes to an amazing cause. Amazing cause.
That's good. Yes.
So now I know Danielle said Trader Joe's needs to sponsor the show. I know I use Trader Joe's stuff every week because I just love Trader Joe's. But okay, I do want to. We have, it's flown by, Michael. We have a few minutes, but let's reiterate what the times are. So the flea market goes from what to what?
So flea market, it's this Sunday, October 1st, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Okay.
Silent auction is from 10 to 4. live auction starts around 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. So and the live auction will happen in the middle of Times Square.
Oh my God!
Wow!
Oh,
it's so fun.
It's wild. It's wild.
It's
and then
totally wild.
And the silent auction happens in Schubert Alley, so that'll be there. We have our autograph table again back this year. There's going to be a lot of amazing stars there that will love to sign and meet everybody. We have the photo booth area with stars that are willing to participate. And there's just going to be a lot of really awesome items, especially if you're looking for stuff from shows that close, especially Phantom of the Opera. So if you're looking there's some costume pieces that have been donated. There's a lot of goodies. So if you're a big Phantom fan or any fan of any of the shows that have closed this past year, a lot of that stuff has been beautifully donated by the management companies and things like that, and the shows themselves and the actors. So there's a lot of fun goodies, and I hope everybody has a good time. I really hope you have a good time and find that thing you were looking for. I hope you find that thing that brings you joy.
It's good either way. You whether you find it or not, you're gonna find yourself there, because you're gonna find that kid that always wanted to be in a show. You're gonna find that teacher that in your mind you're gonna remember that teacher that ran those lines with you. You are going back to your childhood, and you're going back to that part of yourself that fell in love with the theater. And you can't put a price on that. Cannot put a price on that. I can't say enough about this day. I just think it's magical and beautiful. And everybody that works for Broadway Cares Equity Fight Saves that I've ever met is lovely. Maybe not as lovely as Michael. I mean, we kind of got the creamy club.
Or even. I don't get any more lovely as my coworkers are. So
I know. I love them all. Especially Tom. Give Tom Viola a big hug.
Tom's a very special human being.
I love him.
He's a very special man, and if you see us there, come say hi. Come if you know people, like the whole staff's going to be us. If you see me, come up. I want to give you a big hug, please.
Yes, absolutely.
It's a really just nice thing for warm hugs and celebrating Broadway.
And there's all kinds of tables. I know Broadway World has a table. Manhattan Association
Awards has a table. You've got APAM. You've got Hamilton and Drama Bookshop.
Yes.
Bardo Arts was one. Actors Entertainment Community Fund has a table. There's quite a long list of tables, and I think the map. I don't know if the map's been released yet, but the map is up. So if you're looking for something specific, my guide is bring your own reusable bag, because we don't have bags this year. It's all reusable bags.
Okay, good.
Be kind to the earth, and map out where you want to go, and just kind of pick out, I want to go to this show. Little sneak peek what I can offer to people who want to know where things are, because everyone's been texting me where things are. If you're looking for current shows of closed things, go to Curtains Mall. If you're going to, that map is gorgeous. If you're looking for really awesome stuff, go to APAM. That table that's like my go-to. Kansas Over 40 has some beautiful items. Rockers Over on Broadway, if you're like a big vinyl fan, Rockers Over Broadway has a lot of cast recordings and vinyl stuff.
Oh my God! I'm losing my mind.
Yeah, there's some good stuff on there, and it's also good because there's a lot of our organizations like Broadway Green Alliance and Revolucion Latina will be there. So it's also a great way if you're trying to find ways to get involved and be a volunteer or get involved with the organizations. They're all going to be there. It's a really great place to just network, meet people, buy a goodie. It's a good time. Yeah,
and you won't regret it, and you're going to have such a great day. And then you go and get something to eat.
Get a little snack, go to Sardi's, have a little something.
That's it. And you take a million pictures and you post them, and you're going to have a great day. So sadly, our show has come to an end. I can't believe this.
I know, that went fast.
Oh my God. We could talk for another hour. So everybody, listen, do me a favor.
At least.
If you go to the show, I know. If you go to the show, please take a picture and post it on our show page. What's the Story with Maria on Facebook? Or just send it to me and I'll post it. And let's, we can post, or just keep, let us know that you went there. Tag us on Instagram. What's the Story with Maria on Instagram? Follow us and tag us and let us know that you went there. Michael, I cannot thank you enough for joining us.
Thank
What
you.
a nice night we had.
Yeah, and thank you, truly, Maria. Thank you for all those years of donating your time and your talent and your generosity of spirit. Because truly, we can't do things like this without our community and you. And it just the fact that you were part at a very pivotal time in our theater history. The fact that you guys all came together and did that, it's very important, and I'm so happy you keep doing this show and keep talking about these things. Because we have to talk about these things. We have to talk about our history and our theater, especially the good things and the bad things that, we have to talk about it, because that's the only way we learn it, and that history gets passed on, and it explains to people who weren't there why we are still doing it, why we're This is our 36th edition that we've been doing the Broadway Flea Market. A lot of our events are in their 30-something years. Wow. And there's a reason we still have to do it. There's so many people to help, and there's still a lot of change that needs to happen. So I appreciate you, and I love you so much for doing this.
I love you too, honey. And honestly, it was never a burden. The pleasure was all mine. It still is. And let's just keep doing great work in the world. Because and that's how theater people roll. That's how
we roll.
We were theater kids and we're theater adults now. And let's just spread the word. Right, Leo?
That's right. We keep doing it.
That's right.
So we will, everybody, please come back and see us. We're here every Tuesday from 9 to 10 Eastern. However, pay attention. We may not be here on Halloween for a few different reasons. But we'll let you know ahead of time. Thank you, everybody. Go to the Broadway show. Flea market, go to Broadway shows, enjoy. That's what God put us on this earth to do, to enjoy each other's company and sing at the top of our lungs. What's better than that? All right, love you. Thank you, Michael. Leo, thank you. Love you.